Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
And we absolutely have a lot of sports to review from a busy weekend all across the spectrum of sports. We'll preview a lot of stuff coming up as well. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Monday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you from studio. We hope to have Patrick Young on a little bit later with his travels. He was getting back on Sunday, I think it was, from the SEC Network in Charlotte. Brent Beard is scheduled. Let me hit a button here real quick. See if I can. There we go. There, now we're sounding good. A lot to get to. Reviewing a busy weekend. Fun time of year. Got a lot of sports overlapping each other. Some things playing out. March Madness. Baseball starting. The NFL Combine, obviously, really hit the ground running over the weekend. A lot to cover in terms of where will the Jaguars go? What did the Combine do or not do to help bring some clarity to the Jaguars with that number 5 pick? We'll talk about that. A lot of stuff to get to. Major League Baseball, a power poll is out. Of course, the team you think would be on top is on top. And big news coming out of college football, the ACC and Clemson FSU. You know, it was kind of Clemson FSU and the ACC going at it. They're filing lawsuits and things like that. It looks like a settlement will be had. It looks like tomorrow a settlement will be worked out, and Florida State and Clemson will stay put in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Boy, I tell you, we'll talk to Brent Beard in the second hour about this. Big deal, big story. Some of the new numbers, some of the concessions that were made by the ACC, by Clemson and FSU, what they asked for, what they got. It's going to be interesting. And it's going to be one of those situations where I don't think it's just going to be cut and dry. We settle and kumbaya the rest of ever. There are some situations put in place now that involve viewership, and if you get better viewership, you're going to get bigger cut of the pie. That sounds great when your program is good. What about when your program is not so good? We'll talk about that. It's a big deal. Let's just go back 1 year, and we'll do this with Brent Beard in a little bit. 1 year ago, when this Florida State Clemson battle against the Atlantic Coast Conference, when it was really heating up, I didn't see any way that these guys were all going to kiss and make up. But it looks like they have. Now, did Florida State and Clemson kiss and make up because they had nowhere to go? That's kind of the talk out there. That FSU looked up, and I think they carried the flag more than even Clemson. I think FSU looked up, and they started kind of throwing overtures to the SEC and the Big Ten, and they weren't getting warm and fuzzy responses coming back. I think FSU looked up and said, "Damn, we may be closed out here if we can't come to an agreement and stay in the ACC. We may become an independent, and that can be risky." So anyway, I guess it doesn't matter how it happened, but man, I'm surprised. I thought these guys, Clemson and Florida State and the ACC, I thought they were divorce court, man. Divorce court. I guess there are times, though, when somebody says they want a divorce and somebody talks somebody into counseling, sometimes counseling works. Maybe it did for all parties. We'll break that down. So a lot to get to in terms of SEC/college basketball. What a weekend. Wow. And you can't talk college basketball this year without talking SEC basketball. Another just thrilling weekend. Florida really got it going in the second half and kind of ran away from Texas A&M. Good, solid win. A&M came in on a 3-game losing streak, but they were still ranked like 12th in the country, for God's sakes. Good business-like win for the Gators. Tennessee with a buzzer beater over Alabama. I don't think that loss is going to be anywhere near as damaging to Alabama as some might think. I mean, Alabama, they lose on a 40-foot heave on the road at Tennessee, who's a good program. So we'll talk about what are the ramifications about this weekend. Florida, big win over A&M. Tennessee, good big win over Alabama. Vanderbilt and Georgia, two big wins for those two programs. Vandy's in. Vandy beat 14th ranked Missouri. Vandy's in the tournament. I don't think they have to sweat no matter what happens. Everybody's got two games left, a midweek and this Saturday, and then they go out to Nashville. I think Vanderbilt's in. Georgia may have kicked Texas to sleep and put themselves into the tournament. Georgia making a late run. They are making a lot of noise. Arkansas, really, really bad loss over the weekend. And again, Texas, a bad loss as well. Auburn keeps doing Auburn things. They have clinched the regular season, SEC regular season, have the Tigers. And I wonder how that plays into Auburn. They've got, let's see what Auburn has midweek. Auburn is at Texas A&M. And A&M now is on a 4-game losing streak. A&M needs to win that game at home. Auburn at Texas A&M, that's Tuesday. And then Auburn, of course, closes on the road. They play Alabama on Saturday, the return game. No, I'm sorry, that is in Auburn. Bama is at Auburn. Auburn beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa earlier. Now, of course, that's a huge rivalry. We know they don't like each other, Alabama, Auburn, in any sport. They've played once in basketball. I wonder how Auburn, I'm not saying they're going to shut it down. I'm not saying they're going to purposely idle down. But I wonder what Auburn's kind of approach is going into these last two games. They've already won the league championship. The game midweek against A&M, and I know it's Alabama, but Alabama needs that game this coming Saturday way more than Auburn. Auburn already has a win over Alabama. At worst, they'll have a split over Alabama. It'll be interesting to see how. Now, that is at Auburn on Senior Day. That will help. That will help. Now, looking ahead, the way it's played out, and I know Tennessee could get in the mix of what I'm about to say, but I don't think Tennessee has any more big pelts that they can go put on the wall. As a matter of fact, let me take a look. Tennessee's last two. The Volunteers will play. They play Wednesday at Ole Miss. Okay, Ole Miss is a bottom of the top 25 ranked team. So Tennessee has at Ole Miss on Wednesday. And then Saturday, Tennessee closes things out at home in the regular season against South Carolina. So Tennessee has no more punch you in the face. Wow, great win. With that said, I may move Tennessee to the side. I think Wednesday, I think Florida at Alabama Wednesday, ESPN2, 7 o'clock tip. Winner gets the fourth and final number one seed. I think it's pretty much cut and dry. Winner gets the fourth and final seed. I don't think Alabama is knocked down as much in the eyes of the committee than, say, they are in the rankings. Alabama dropped to like 8 in the rankings that just came out. I think the committee is smart enough to look up and see last Saturday's Alabama loss and go, wait a minute. They lost on the road to a 2-seed, probably, Tennessee team on a 40-foot heave. I don't think that game hurts Alabama that much. I don't think it hurts that much. Huge regular season basketball game coming up Wednesday. One of the biggest games in Gator regular season basketball history. Huge game. I think the winner, I'm going to say it again, the winner of Alabama, Florida, this Wednesday. Again, that's a Wednesday game. Florida's played a lot of Tuesday midweek. This is a Wednesday game in Tuscaloosa. They haven't played this year. Florida, Alabama, winner, I think, regardless of what happens this coming Saturday. And by the way, Florida is at home against Ole Miss on Saturday. Alabama, as we talked about, they are on the road at Auburn. I'm just not so sure how engaged Auburn's going to be. How engaged they are going to be. But a huge, huge basketball game for Florida this Wednesday at Alabama. Some other results from this weekend. Auburn, speaking of Auburn, here's how good they are. Auburn was at Kentucky Saturday, playing in Rupp. And I know Kentucky's banged up. Still a pretty good basketball team. Kentucky's beaten Florida this year. They're a pretty good basketball team. Kentucky has some good wins. They're playing in Rupp, 20-plus thousand screaming, Big Blue Nation. Johni Broome scored 1 point in the first half. He was almost shut out in the first half. And Auburn doesn't miss a beat. Their best player was no factor. 2 fouls in the first half, 1 point, couldn't throw it in the ocean. Auburn did not miss a beat. It was impressive. It was very impressive. Today, hopefully, we get to some college baseball. It's that time of year. Florida took 2 of 3 from Miami. They win the series. Had kind of an ugly output yesterday in the third and final game. Miami kind of roughed them up mid-game. Florida had some trouble once their starter came out. They had some trouble holding Miami. We'll try to talk about that. I do believe, speaking of March Madness, I do believe the Fighting Dolphins over on off of University Boulevard, I think JU is hosting a first-round ASUN game in Swisher. In Swisher. That's the way the ASUN works. You play on higher seed courts all the way through. They don't meet at one location and play in the ASUN anymore. I think JU, let me take a look just for that. I think that's a 7 o'clock. It's today. Let's take a peek here. I think the Fighting Dolphins at home today. Eastern Kentucky at Jacksonville, 7 p.m., ESPN Plus, coming to you from beautiful Swisher Gymnasium. So the Dolphins trying to win. I think if they win tonight, that will I don't know this for a fact. That will probably be their last home game, though. I think the way it would play, if JU wins tonight, they would play their next ASUN game on the road, and they would have to beat then somebody. I think JU finished tied for third in their division. UNF got beat yesterday, I do believe. I think so. I didn't follow it. UNF, even though they swept JU in the series, the basketball series, UNF finished about 4 games behind JU. So UNF, I think Austin Peay might have knocked them out, and their season is over. So track the Dolphins. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but JU tonight looks like they will host an ASUN basketball game from Swisher. We'll keep that and obviously talk about that tomorrow as we go. Short arms. No, we're not talking about me. Short arms. Will short arms cause the Jaguars or be the main impetus of the Jaguars trading back from that number 5 pick? I think it will. I think if I was drafting, and I tease a little bit, short arms, Mason Graham, defensive lineman, bracketed with the Jaguars a lot, the lineman out of Michigan. A lot of people said there's the pick, the 5th pick, Jacksonville, interior defensive line, position they need, high motor guy, blah, 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 blah. His measurables, we'll get back to his measurables, have been atrocious for Mason Graham. When right now, that's all people are looking at, measurables. Will Campbell, the LSU tackle, offensive tackle, he's the guy I would draft. If I was pulling the trigger, I would draft. I would stay at 5. I think Will Campbell will be there. He's the guy I would draft. He has some issues that are popping up, some measurable issues. Supposedly, Will Campbell has short arms for a guy his size and short wingspan for a guy playing the position he does. So you've got short arm situation with Campbell and, Mason Graham. I saw a list today that said combine winners and losers, and Graham was on the loser side. He did not work out, but he went and got measured and did interviews. Mason Graham. Now, his argument, let me back up. Mason Graham and his agent, their argument is go watch the tape. Go watch the Ohio State game. Go watch my last 2 years. I'm a football player. That's his argument. And that's been used before. And a lot of times it's valid. But Mason Graham shows up at the combine. He has a shorter than desirable wingspan, arm length. And those NFL guys, man, that's big to those guys. And he shows up 24 pounds lighter than his Michigan program size had him listed. And we all know those get fudged a little bit. But he showed up like 6'3" and a half, 296. Michigan listed him 6'3", 3 whatever it is, 325 or whatever. I mean, that's a big, big miss on the measurables. With that and Will Campbell, I think I would go ahead and draft Campbell, the LSU tackle. That's what I would do at number 5. That's what I would do. I have no inside information, but I think it's pointing to the Jaguars trading back. I think they're going to find a team, I don't know where they would be, 12, 13, 14, 15. Find a team later in the first round that has what they think is an expendable starting offensive lineman. And I think the Jaguars' offensive line is so bad, they might need to wipe it all clean. Wipe it all clean. With that said, I throw that because I don't care if it's necessarily – I want a starting level plug-and-play center, guard, or tackle. I think the Jaguars are going to end up finding a dance partner, and they're going to say, we want one of your offensive linemen, this guy right here, whoever he is, whoever he's identified as, and whichever team he's on. The Jaguars get a sure thing. You get a guy that's been in the league 2-3 years, that's been a clear starter, and you swap picks. You say, you want 5, get it. We'll take 13, but we want that starting lineman. I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what they're going to end up doing. I would just take Campbell is what I would do. But that's what I think they're going to do. Will it be the short arm draft? Will it be known as that? I don't know. But I think that's what's going to happen. We've got weeks to talk about that. College football spring practice popping up all over. Liberty started Saturday. I think the Canes are on the field today. Florida goes on Thursday. Spring football right around the corner. We want to work in some Iditarod dog racing talk. Are you kidding me? Did you ever think you'd hear that on this show? As if the Iditarod dog racing competition is not tough enough. I'll give you some updates on that. And man, oh man, oh man. As much as the NFL wants to expand, and they do, as much as the NFL wants to take their great game across ponds and in new lands, and they do. You know they do. I know they do. Another story today that maybe I'm the only guy that ever brings this up. How in the world, and this is off of a story today that says the New York Jets are talking about how they might be comfortable going into the season with Tyrod Taylor as their starter. I don't care if it's the Jets or any other 31 team. Tyrod Taylor can't play NFL-level quarterback. There's your problem. The NFL can find right now, I think, multiple locations to put expansion franchises. The league can expand. They would probably be successful here. Where the hell is the NFL going to get quality quarterback play? Face it, right now, the NFL, 32 franchises every year, 32 teams go into the league, and they open up the next season. You're lucky if there's 20 quality quarterbacks. The NFL can't fill out 32 positions with quality quarterback play. Where are they planning on getting these players? Is there anything uglier in sports than a below quality NFL quarterback masquerading around playing NFL quarterback. Oh, I don't know. Where does Goodell, is he just going to drop water like the Jetsons TV show and poof, quality quarterback, poof, poof, poof. If you add expansion franchises, where are you going to get? Are they out there? Have we not uncovered them? NFL quarterback play year after year after year. Those bottom 12, maybe there's 20 decent, great to good quarterbacks. You watch the league. I watch the league. The quarterback play from franchise 20 to 32 is terrible pretty much across the board. Where is the NFL planning on getting quality quarterbacks? Because, my God, the last thing you want to do in the near future, I don't know, is that 5 years, 4 years, 8 years, 10? I don't know. But the last thing you want to do is expand your league by, say, 4 franchises and have Tyrod Taylor type guys being your starting quarterback. That'll be terrible. That'll make your game look terrible. I just don't know, because we've been stuck with the NFL. They haven't had quality quarterback play after like franchise 19 or 20 ever. Ever. I'm not going to do it. I'm lazy. You would be blown away if you go to your Google and or your Chat GPT, ST, whatever, and you say, I want a list. Tell me everybody that started a game in the NFL in 2024. You would be blown away probably at the trash that gets run out. NFL's got to figure out, where are they going to get quality quarterbacks to fill and to play and basically to be the face of these new expansion franchises when they expand. All right, one down. Show is set. We'll talk to Brent Beard in hour number 2. Hopefully Patrick Young coming back from his duties on Saturday. By the way, when we come back, with or without Patrick, man, we got a still photography shot. Did you see my man on set in studio Saturday with his Crush Velvet green sports coat? And he pulled it off. We'll talk about that. A lot of topics to get to with you. Feel free to drop us a chat. It's a Monday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you on Jack Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
All right, we are back. There's that shot. Even if Patrick doesn't make it on the show, look at my man Patrick Young. That was Saturday in Charlotte on the set of the SEC Network. That would be, I don't know, you can tell the tie is popping. The sport coat, that's a crushed velvet green sport coat that my man Patrick was rocking Saturday. They were calling him the biggest leprechaun in the world. And I'm assuming Patrick is going to dry clean that bad boy and bust it out also for St. Patrick's Day. But look at that thing, man. And he wore the hell out of it. I mean, I looked up when I was watching, when I switched over to watch SEC Network on Saturday, I thought Marvin Gaye was on set there for a moment. I'm like, is that Marvin Gaye? And no, that's my man Pat. And he wore it. He told me Thursday or Friday when he was heading up to Charlotte, he said, hey, man, make sure you get a load of my sport coat I'm going to wear. He did it, and he wore it. Good for Patrick. Good for Patrick. With that, we welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle Show. Hope to hear from Pat in a little bit. Brent Beard coming up in the second hour somewhere, maybe top of the hour, bottom of the hour. You never know with Brent Beard. A lot going on. We want to bounce around, including, man, what a turnaround. The Atlantic Coast Conference, Florida State, Clemson. They were in that big lawsuit, Florida State and Clemson, kind of a double lawsuit with the ACC. They were complaining about revenue and trying to buy their way out if they can't figure it out. It looks like a agreement has been reached, and I don't really know what the impetus was. Some people are saying it might have been FSU and Clemson looked around and nobody invited them into their conference. The SEC kind of said, we're good right now. And the word is the Big Ten kind of said the same thing. But it looks like one of the main points that got these entities back together is the revenue sharing. And it looks as if, and Brent will break this down in a little bit, it looks as if some of the payout, and we may have, Pat, is that you?
I'm here.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Monday, I think. We got a lot of basketball to talk with Patrick Young. Are the Dolphins playing tonight? Right, JU's in their first game. They're hosting, right?
Yeah. They got Eastern Kentucky.
Can they beat them? Can they beat them?
They can.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they can absolutely. Yeah, I'm doing that game tonight, so
I thought so.
We'll see. It's gonna be a good one.
Now, what would happen if JU wins tonight? They probably will not get to host another game, or will they? depending, or do you know how that works?
They might because they're the higher seed. As long as they're the higher seed.
I got you.
Because I think they finished second.
Yeah. So am I correct? UNF got eliminated last night.
Yeah.
They got knocked out.
Apparently,
by Austin.
they were up like 17 and ended up losing by 21.
What?
Is pretty crazy.
That is nuts. That is nuts. Pat, we were going to talk about the ACC and FSU and Clemson. Let's put that to the back burner. Obviously, that's college football, and we're a long way from there. You were busy Saturday. Number one, the crushed velvet green sport coat. Oh my God, you rocked the heck! Look at that. We got it on screen, right? Oh, Pat, that thing is good looking, man. Where the hell did you get that?
The number of compliments I got for that jacket, man. I got it from it's from Italy.
Oh,
it's a pure Italian jacket.
Let me tell you something. If you're not wearing that on, I think it's March 17th, this thing called St. Patrick's Day, I got to go borrow that bad boy. That thing is nice.
Terry, you remember, if you haven't forgotten, I'm much bigger than you are.
Yeah, a little bit. The arm length might be a problem, but I'll roll it up or something. Hey, I'll cut it off. I'll cut it off.
There you go.
Oh, that thing is nice. Hey, man, wow, what about Saturday? We say it every week. What about SEC basketball Saturday? Florida, second half, real
good game.
Florida just kind of business-like. That's a tough A&M team they beat by 19 or whatever it was. Nice win for the Gators, wasn't it?
How about Buzz Williams sweating his butt off through that suit? Did you see that?
Yes. He pulled that jacket off.
He took his jacket off, and it's just, oh, man, so gross.
Yeah. That reminded me of Bruce Pearl about 20 years ago in Gainesville. Bruce Pearl did the same thing. He had
was Bruce?
Oh, do we lose you, Pat? Say that again, Pat.
Hello?
Go ahead. We got you. Go ahead.
Would Bruce Pearl be sweating through a suit as well? I can't remember.
He in Gainesville back in the era where Florida won back-to-back. Tennessee was really good in those years. Hell, Tennessee beat Florida a couple times during the back-to-back, and he brought a team into Gainesville one year, and he's never done it again. He was wearing a light tan suit, and a white shirt under it and tie. Back in the day where everybody wore ties. And, I mean, before he took the jacket off, he was absolutely drenched. And that tan suit, you could see it, you know. I mean, he must have.
You can see it through the suit?
He must have dropped 20 pounds that night in Gainesville. You had a chance, obviously, to see Florida. Boy, they're back. Condon looked like a different player. He's got his rhythm back. Boy, that was Florida at full go. And, they're good. They're good.
Micah Hanlogin, I forgot how good of an offensive rebounder he is. Killed it. He chases after balls up there.
He really, and you know what? And he likes to do it. A lot of that's to a lot of guys, as you know, Pat, that's dirty work. Just somebody get the rebound, give me the ball. He loves getting the rebound. Oh, do we lose Pat again? That's in and out here, but he was mentioning Michael Hanlogin. What a comeback! But Pat, I don't know if you heard me. Hanlogin likes rebounding, and that's key to some guys. They just want the ball. I want you to get the rebound, but I want the ball. You know?
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
What else stood out for you, Pat? Saturday, you put a long day in the studio. Vanderbilt, they got in. What a huge win. Georgia, I think kicks.
Oh yeah. I told the guys I was like, hey, keep an eye on that Vandy game. I think it's not going to be an easy win for Missouri. Missouri had it, man. Just late game, they just were not defending well. That big kid Hogard, he kept. He's a big guard. I don't think he's that good, but he's smart. He was driving to pass, driving to the rim to get an open shot for his teammates, and he did that so well at the end of that game. We couldn't believe it went into overtime.
Yeah.
But the Tennessee game, still can't believe Nate Oates did not call a timeout. Like the 5-second call.
Oh.
Was crazy.
Oh.
The 5-second call that had 2 timeouts left, and then not calling a timeout, at least to get his correct defensive personnel out there.
Yeah.
The guy Meshack, he gets the ball in, and it's unguarded.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like obviously you don't want to foul in that situation, but you can put pressure on the guy without touching him to speed him up, to slow him down, and it was it's kind of ridiculous that he got that shot.
Or Patrick,
wide open.
or just to block his vision a little bit. I mean, he had now I know it was a 40-foot jump.
You block his vision, or you make him turn. You make him he dribbled in a straight line. You make him turn. That's just gonna make him waste time. It was 3-point-something seconds left.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to turn at all. He was able to dribble right into that shot.
I did think it was a little bit of a quick 5-second call. But you got to take time out.
But I was saying this though. But like coaches, it's similar. It reminds me to I would equate it to this in football, where if you get a delay of game, they'll let you waste the timeout or burn a timeout instead of taking the penalty.
Yes.
I think they should allow that to happen as well in basketball, because of course you're gonna call a timeout versus taking that violation call. But I don't know. I can't believe they got a 5-second violation call. I thought he should have called timeout before, because they didn't get a good play. And they had 20 something seconds left to get the last shot, and they didn't even get a shot up. It was fortunate to be a jump ball.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, I do think, Patrick, the big committee they've gotten pretty good at what they do. The big we complain here and there, and they're always going to get complained about this seed or that seed. But I think the big committee has gotten pretty good at what they do. I don't think they're going to punish Alabama for that loss as much as some people think. Alabama lost on the road to a really good Tennessee team on a 40-footer at the buzzer, right? I still think Alabama and Florida, and Pat, you can go a different direction if you want. I want to hear your thoughts. I think Alabama and Florida Wednesday night, 7:00 tip in Tuscaloosa. I think winner gets the 4th and final number 1 seed. I think it's all on the line in that game.
Yeah, I agree. I think without a doubt. That's a hard game. That's I hate when people ask those questions. There's certain questions I hate to answer. Are the Gators gonna make the Final Four? I'm like, I don't know.
That's too hard to answer.
My guess is it's too hard of an answer, but my dog knows that I'm home. She can hear me outside the fence.
Nice.
She's crying.
Nice.
Making me lose my train of thought.
Well, let me throw this out as you're getting your train of thought back. Right now, I think it's pretty obvious, and Duke could lose a game, but I don't think they will. I think Auburn is a clear number 1. Duke is going to get a number 1. I think Houston now has closed out. Houston's going to get a number 1. They're sitting at 3 in the polls. And then I think it's a Florida, Alabama, and possibly Tennessee. But Tennessee doesn't play anybody real good midweek, or they don't play another highly ranked team. Florida has Alabama, Alabama has Florida, and then Alabama also has Auburn on Saturday. Yep. So I think, and I'm not so sure, Patrick, what do you think Auburn's clinched the SEC now. They've clinched the regular season title. Do they idle down a little bit? I know that's not Bruce Pearl's personality, but I'm not so sure Auburn doesn't kind of they might lose a game, one of the last 2. I don't know. Am I reading too much into that? Auburn's already done the dirty work.
For the most part. Well, what's interesting is that Joe Lunardi said Auburn could forfeit the rest of the games this year and still get 1 seed.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah. They deserve it, man.
And you wonder, does Bruce Pearl, does he guard some minutes with Janai Broome and say, hey, man, we want you in postseason? Does he say, I want you to play a little bit? I don't
think he does.
Okay.
He probably, because Denver Jones probably got hurt, so he probably lets a few guys that might be banged up rest a little bit. But, knowing Coach Pearl, he respects the game too much to not have his guys go out there and kill it.
Yeah, Wednesday night now. That is a Wednesday, Florida at Alabama. Wednesday, 7:00. Only time they play in the regular season. They didn't play earlier. They only play once. But if Florida wins that game, I don't see how they can't be a number 1 seed. I mean, they would have had a sweep over Auburn, a sweep over Alabama, a split with. Keep in mind, Tennessee right now. The new poll just came out. Tennessee's 4th in the country. It seems like they dropped off there for a while. They're 4th in the country, Pat. Tennessee.
I know, right? It did seem like they.
Yeah, it did. Florida dropped 2 spots. That loss to Georgia dropped them. Florida went. How about this? You know you're having a good year when you drop 2 spots all the way down to 5. You know, that's when you're having a good year. So the Gators, and again, the rankings don't matter in college basketball at all, really, because we play. But right now, the top, the top 6 are the same in both the AP and the coaches poll. Auburn, Duke, Houston.
That's not always the case.
Yeah, Houston, Tennessee 4, Florida 5, St. John's 6. St. John's.
They're good. St. John's is really. I would not want to get matched up with St. John's. To be honest with you, I watched them a few times.
Yeah,
that is a good team, Terry.
Yeah,
that is a well coached, hard playing, tough team.
And you said it. I've never particularly liked Rick Pitino. I wouldn't buy a used car from him. I think he's a used car salesman. Rick Pitino can coach basketball. He can game day really coach. If you ran into St. John's, I feel the same way about Michigan State. You know, Michigan State, this may not be their best team. This may not be their best team. But your boy Tom Izzo, if you need a play drawn up with 8 seconds left and he's got the ball, he can really help his team. Some of those coaches can do that, man. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was the issue I think Gators fans had with Mike White. He could not do that very well.
No.
That was not his forte.
Did you guys in the studio, did you guys officially proclaim Georgia in, or do they still have a little more work to do you think, Georgia?
I don't remember. I mean, we're over here struggling understanding how Oklahoma is in.
I don't know.
Of all the teams, how is Oklahoma still in the conversation? They are not good.
They're like 4-11, and I saw their last 4 in the other day. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And Dari, my partner, he's an OU grad, and he's like, how in the heck are we still in the tournament conversation? How? I'm like, I don't know, man.
Getting back to Georgia,
ask your guy.
the Dogs, they have a Tuesday midweek game at South Carolina, who's playing good. South Carolina's being a spoiler right now. And then
dude, Terry, hold on. Sorry. Terry, Arkansas played the worst first half in basketball I've ever seen in my life.
Talk about it. What happened?
14 points.
Oh, God.
3 of 24 in the first half.
Oh.
It seemed as though the Arkansas rim had more clank to it.
I heard y'all.
Or maybe we heard a lot clank, 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 clank. Like they could not make anything.
I heard y'all talking about
it. It was awful. Yeah. Like poor Coach Cal, man. I mean, I'm not a Calipari fan, but goodness gracious, that had to be rough.
Isn't it hard to believe that John Calipari, all those UMass teams with Marcus Camby, Derrick Rose at Memphis, all those Kentucky NBA guys, John Calipari coached a basketball game where his team scored 14 points in the first. Are you serious?
Unbelievable.
Here it is. It was South Carolina led at halftime, 32-14.
Dude.
32-14.
I got no words, right?
Wow, that had to be hard. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. I think they might have moved out of the tournament.
Might have. Yeah, I mean, that is just a really I'm going to stick with 12. I think the SEC is going to get 12 in. I'm going to go ahead and say Arkansas sneaks in. I think South Carolina, LSU, Texas, and Oklahoma are going to miss. I think Arkansas somehow. Let me see what Arkansas has the rest of they got 2 more games. They're at Vanderbilt on Tuesday, and then Saturday Mississippi State is at Arkansas. They could win their last. I think they sneak in by winning their last 2 and maybe maybe one in Nashville. Maybe one. I think they're going to get 12 in the SEC, Pat. 12.
You think so?
12 out of 16, though. That's not bad.
I'm glad you're confident.
Yeah. What do you think?
12 out of 16 is pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, man. Just certain teams, you just like getting in the tournament. I'd rather there be 7 or 8 teams that you're like, dang, they actually got a chance versus like you see Georgia squeeze in there and mentally we're all going to be like, there's no way they're making it out of the first weekend.
Yeah.
It's like, why are they, you say, why are they even playing this? The game's got to be played. So, you got to respect the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we got to be real. Georgia, Vanderbilt, Texas, Oklahoma, if those teams get in, they are out in the first weekend.
Probably.
If not the first day, the first Thursday.
But I'll tell you,
and some of them are fighting. They're fighting for the play-in, and some of them are they're fighting for the play-in, and they're going to lose right there.
Speaking of those teams you just named, probably one and done. I will agree with you, but I'll say this about Georgia: I don't care if Georgia's play-in, one and done. If Mike White gets them to what's considered March Madness, I think Georgia fans going to be happy. I think Georgia fans going to go, hey, that's okay. We had an upset or two. We made it to the big day. I think Georgia fan would be happy even with a 0-1, one and done kind of thing. They've been so pedestrian in basketball.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they have been. Yeah. No, I think after getting that win against Florida, not gonna say like this is still the best team Mike White's had since he's been there. But like from what Georgia had before Mike White got there, good God.
Yeah.
They probably, I would have thought they, if I was a Georgia fan, like we're never going to make it
to
anything.
No, they've surprised.
Like, why are we even coming?
They've surprised me and you, I think, the last 2 weeks. They really have. Pat, did you have a chance? I know you're busy Saturday. Did you have a chance to see the show that Gator Basketball put on from the O'Connell game day? It was a good 2-hour Gator Basketball infomercial. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. It was really good.
I saw a bit of it. I saw when some of the guys came on, some of the when the three guards came on, and a little bit of Coach White or Coach Golden when he was up there as well.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff's valuable to a program trying to build and really. I thought it was really well done. I would have liked the game to be a little earlier. I hated the fact that game day went off at noon and they didn't tip off till 8:30 at night. But what a hell of a day in Gainesville Saturday. My God, you had baseball and you had basketball and I think they lacrosse. It was one, and the weather was perfect all weekend. Miami was in for baseball, the big game in basketball, game day earlier in the day. It was just one of those man, you just wish you were in Gainesville all day and night, man. What a great day for Gator athletics on Saturday. It was nice. It was nice.
It was absolutely. I mean, as always.
Pat, we'll let you go in a minute. What's your this week SEC Network schedule? Do you know it yet?
Yeah, well, I only have the weekend, so that's great. So I'm leaving Friday night for another full Saturday. Man, that was a long day, man.
It was good though, wasn't it? It was good though, and it'll be that way again, right? There'll be early tips all the way through night, right?
Yeah, you just wish that that Auburn-Alabama game was going to mean something more, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, it really is. It's funny how that played out. It really is. Alabama, you look at this week, Alabama-Florida is much more meaningful now than Alabama-Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Because I think
absolutely.
I think if Alabama beats Florida Wednesday, even if they lose to Auburn, they're getting a 1 seed. Let me take a look real quick, Pat. On your Saturday, Kentucky, Missouri, that's an ESPN game at noon, but y'all will need to talk about that. Vanderbilt at Georgia, ESPNU, that is a noon game. I'm trying to see if I can get you out of that studio. Okay, South Carolina at Tennessee, that's an SEC Network game at 2, so you'll work that halftime, right? That'll be your halftime. Yeah. Alabama, Auburn, 2:30 ESPN. Odd tip time. A little bit of an odd tip time, isn't it? 2:30.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let me look this Saturday. What else is Pat going to have to? Okay, you got another game on SEC Network. Wow, you're going to do a triple header, right? A&M at LSU, 4 o'clock, SEC Network. So you'll definitely do halftime of that one. Man, they got you working, Pat. They got you working.
I know, dude. Listen to this. Listen to this though. Pat Bradley, he did the Arkansas game in South Carolina.
Right.
Then he drove to studio and stayed with us and worked the rest. And I'm like, and he's sick, dealing with a head cold and some allergies. So he's over there fighting some demons, some internal demons, and having to stay up. Like talk about a full day.
Wow.
That game tipped at 12, and then he drove an hour and a half. I was like, Pat, there's no way. You should have just left me here to be by myself.
Wow.
I said I would have left you. I wouldn't have been here.
Well, Pat, I know, Patrick. When I first turned you guys on Saturday, you were the only analyst.
Yeah, it was just me.
Yeah. By the way, and then you have this Saturday, as if you don't know it, Ole Miss at Florida, SEC Network, 6 p.m. tip. My God, do they have a 9 o'clock game? Yes.
Gosh.
Yes, you've got an Oklahoma at Texas, 8 o'clock game. Patrick Young. Goodness gracious.
Man, it's so sad. No one takes Oklahoma basketball seriously now.
I know. How bad is it?
No one really cares about Oklahoma. Like they couldn't even sell out the first time they played them. It might sell out in Texas. It might sell out in Texas.
All right,
Texas
Pat.
Texas fans are pretty loyal.
No, number one, I need you to deliver a Dolphins win tonight. It'd be nice if they win tonight. And
it would be nice if they win because that means I can do another game and I can get paid again.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. And Patrick, the most important thing I got to ask you, you're heading back into the studio for Saturday, all day, all night. How do you top the crushed velvet green sport coat? What are you going to even?
I got something
what?
planned. I got something planned. Yeah.
Pat.
I got something planned. Don't worry.
Okay. All right, buddy.
Don't worry.
Hey, that's a tough act to follow, man.
I know it is.
That is a tough act to follow. All right, brother. Get in, get squared away, and then get over to Swisher. Get over to Swisher.
I'm gonna be a Swisher in about an hour or some change.
All right, and that's what, 7 o'clock tip?
7 o'clock tip.
All right, Dolphins taking on East. Is East Kentucky any good?
Yeah, they're good. They finished second place. So yeah, so it's not gonna be an easy one. Oh, they finished in 5th, but they should have been. They're one of the better teams in the league for sure.
I got you. All right, PY. Certainly, we'll talk as the week goes on. Certainly, Wednesday. Cannot wait until Florida, Alabama, Wednesday night, I think, for a number 1 seed. All right, buddy, have a good call tonight. Be safe. We'll talk soon.
You. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
That's our buddy Patrick Young, working hard, man. What about that Saturday? Goodness gracious. Hey, he's getting paid handsomely, but that is a heck of a day. All right, let's take a break. I think Brent Beard may join us a little bit earlier. We were talking 5:30, but I told him, hey, Brent, come on about top of the hour if you can. We'll try to catch up with Brent Beard on a lot of college basketball and college football to discuss. Also, he'll get to the bottom, really know what's going on. Atlantic Coast Conference, Florida State Clemson. It looks like they're all going to put their lawsuits down, and they're going to kiss and make up. We'll talk about the ramifications of that with Brent Beard, our buddy Brent Beard, college basketball and football analyst, when we come back on the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Kind of a unique situation developing sort of around the Jaguars, and what are they going to do at that number 5 pick as we welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle show here on a Monday. That was a good-looking shot of the inside of the College Football Hall of Fame there. Jaguars, and we'll talk to Brent Beard here about some college stuff here momentarily, but the Jaguars, 2 of the names more prominently mentioned around Jacksonville in that 5 pick are a couple of linemen, defense and offensive linemen. Mason Graham, defensive lineman, interior, and Will Campbell, tackle, offensive line tackle. It's ironic that both guys are being picked apart a little bit for, number one, arm length or lack of arm wingspan. And with Graham's situation, man, he came in about 24 pounds lighter than his listed. And we know game programs and team rosters are inflated, but man, this guy was listed about 325 all season at Michigan, comes in about 296. It's ironic that that might be, those 2 situations might be the impetus for the Jaguars to trade back. I think they are going to trade back. I don't have any inside scoop on that. I think the Jaguars are going to go find a team that will part with a proven plug-and-play, already been in the league 3-4 years, offensive lineman, a guy that can play, and they'll swap. And I probably would take Will Campbell. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be real good this coming year, but if you get a plug-and-play guy, there's no developing. I mean, the Jaguars, I think they'll go out and see if they can find a ready-made guy and then swap picks, and then they'll pick 12th, 13th, 14th. You may be saying, well, Terry, what about you would bypass Travis Hunter. I'm torn. Travis Hunter, a good player, going to be a good player in the league. Probably going to catch a lot of passes and going to break up a lot of passes. Probably going to be a real different type of player. We haven't seen that kind of guy very often in the NFL. My real concern with Travis Hunter, if you bring him in, particularly looking at him as a receiver, is dynamic Travis Hunter, dynamic Brian Thomas. How dynamic can those two guys be? If you go get Travis Hunter, how dynamic can those guys be if your quarterback's on his back? I mean, you got to be standing up to throw the ball. Anyway, interesting how this short-armed, making the rounds, these guys have short arms for their position. Interesting. Short arms may force the Jaguars' hand in a weird way. Combine, some of the winners and losers from the Combine, and there's a spin with one Georgia football player that I saw him listed as a loser from the Combine, yet the write-up says he didn't do anything wrong. He was just playing the wrong position. The guy that tore it up looks like South Carolina safety Nick Emanwari, if I'm pronouncing his last name. I remember him, long safety, big, tall, long, rangy guy. Reminds you of the who's the Notre Dame, Kyle, what's his name? The long safety from Notre Dame a couple of years ago. But Emanwari absolutely was probably the Combine warrior. Measurables, numbers, everything. And in a weird way, that knocked down Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia. And the write-up about Starks from the Combine is he didn't really do anything wrong. He just happens to play the same position as the guy that lit it up in the Combine. But the kid from South Carolina had a great Combine. Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas, supposedly had a great Combine. Edge rusher Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. We know about him. Boy, he's been a good player there. He supposedly has shot up the draft board because of the Combine. And some of the winners are called just running backs. Boy, the running back position has made a quick turn. I like when the running back position is featured in football at every level. It doesn't have to be the feature, but I didn't like the way we went through a period in the NFL, gosh, what was that, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, where the running back position was a pick up a blitz here and there if you're on the field, flare out to catch a pass in the flat, and that was about it. I like a more traditional running back position. Guys like Henderson and Judkins from Ohio State, I think they're going to benefit from the little bit of a reemergence, I should say, of the running back in the NFL. Abdul Carter, he's an interesting study. I've seen his name now under losers at the Combine. Right now, Abdul Carter, great player, great athlete, when healthy, man, he's going to have that damaged goods label on him. Remember, he missed a lot of time in the playoffs with Penn State. He had that nagging shoulder situation. Now they've found a foot situation with him. So you wonder just how much will this, hurt Abdul Carter. Do you take a flyer on this guy? I mean, if he's good, he may be the next Myles Garrett. If he's damaged goods, do you want to have a Joel Embiid? If you know what I mean. I might have heard Brent Beard. Is that right, Brent? You there?
Chino. You heard Chino.
Oh, Chino causing trouble here. What you up to, my man?
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. We got basketball to talk about. Another weekend of just ridiculous play in the SEC. But let's review a little bit what's going on. It appears now the divorce between Florida State, Clemson, and the Atlantic Coast Conference, they went to a counselor, and have they worked things out? Man, a year ago, I would have never thought this to happen. Catch us up. What's going on?
No, well, this is really the in many ways, as Chino says hello, this is the story of the day, in that tomorrow, what is expected to happen is going to be that Clemson and Florida State are going to sign a document with the ACC that will put an end to all the lawsuits. And if they do that, and this is what you and I have been talking about for months, as far as they're getting half of what they want, and I'll explain that.
Okay.
The thing they're getting is they truly believe, and there's some validity to this, that they bring in the most eyeballs. They have the better players in the NFL, and they get that they have had the most success. Well, because of that, they would like to be compensated more than they are now. So, and look, you would understand this more than most. In the contract, Terry, I don't think that's going to be a flat number. I think it's going to be a percentage that's higher than what they're getting now. So, and look, all along, as I've talked about this now for months, that's really one of the main things they wanted. They want to be compensated for what they bring in. Into their credit, there's no comparison from what they bring in compared to Boston College, Duke, Wake, or whoever. Now, the other side of this is what I was told from the guy I've leaned on at Florida State is this is probably going to go for about 5 years.
Okay.
To 2030. And in 2030, and I'll have to reread that again, Terry, to get out of the grant of rights, if you wait to 2030, it's going below, compared to what it is now, it's going to be half or a quarter of that.
Yes. So a lot of stuff to unpack here. But, yeah, the way you just explained that, I'll just use Florida State. I won't keep referencing Clemson. But, man, I think this is a big win for FSU. I think this is big because they're going to get, as long as their football program gets back to where it should be.
Yeah.
But FSU plays, in this setup, FSU wants Florida to be good.
Yeah.
Right? Sure, because that's an out-of-conference big game that if it gets more eyeballs, right? And FSU is probably, I'm going to go ahead and say it, FSU is the most national football program in the ACC. They play Georgia Tech in Dublin. They play Alabama to open up. They play Florida. They've got more games to get a bunch of eyeballs, don't they? And then they'll get a bigger cut.
They do. Now, what tells you this is real is the ACC presidents are set to vote on the terms.
There you go.
And the new TV money distribution. Now, Terry, as you and I've talked for years, I know the average fan can make fun of them, but when these chancellors and presidents, they ride on the bottom line at the end, and nothing counts until they do.
Absolutely. They got to sign it off. How much do you think played into this? There's a lot of whispers going around. Hey, by the way, FSU and Clemson, they didn't have anywhere else to go. Yeah. Right? The SEC said, hey, man, we're good. The Big Ten said, did that play a big factor? But man, I still think this is a win for FSU.
Oh, I don't. It is. There's no question about that. Now, look, are the fans excited they're staying in the league and having the teams that they play every year? I would say no. But for right now, it is probably the best deal that they can make. Now, I'm quoting here, the top earners here, FSU and Clemson, are expecting to net an additional $15 million per year.
Gotcha.
More than what they're doing now. Now, what my source told me today was, he said, look, we know, and we're not going to say it, we know we're not coming close to SEC and Big Ten money.
Yeah.
But this is the closest we've been ever.
Don't you see when this came out today, I immediately went, wait a minute, what a win for FSU. They're going to get a bigger cut, which they asked for, because if they bring the eyeballs, they're going to get a bigger cut. And they've got two big chances to, and I don't know if that kicks in this year, but I would imagine FSU down the road, they'll play the likes of Alabama, and they always play Florida. That's two chances at big. What if Florida and Alabama are, undefeated or one loss? A big game. Sure. A lot of people watching. But I see. If I'm the ACC, I think, 5 years from now, FSU is going to walk right out of here at a much less cost.
Right.
I think that's a double win. FSU gets the revenue cut they want, and that big grant of rights payout to get out of the conference, that got knocked way down. I want to say to somewhere around $100 million, and then if they want to get out, they'll negotiate that down even further.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure FSU's in the ACC in 7 years.
And that's what we're saying here.
Yeah.
Frankly, that in 5 years.
So hang tight, Noel fans. Hang tight.
Now, okay, let me read this to you too. And with your business acumen, you tell me what this tells you. Clemson, Florida State would be among the big winners of this brand-based distribution.
Right.
Though North Carolina and Miami or others expected to come out with a higher payout too. So
yeah.
Well, you tell me what that's saying to you. Okay.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. Is this all sports, or are we just dealing with football, or do you know? I'm not, if it.
I don't know if we know that yet.
Because if it's basketball, Duke's loving life.
Oh, yeah, sure they would be.
Duke's going, we should get that same cut on the basketball side because we've made basketball. I mean, even more than North Carolina. I think this is a win today for not only Florida State, Clemson as well, but I think this is a big win for FSU, don't you? They're going to get
yes.
They're going to get. They're not going to feel like. And I know it's easy to make fun. Well, they were 2-10. How are they? But you and I know that FSU has been the cream of the crop in that. I know Clemson's been recent, but FSU has been. FSU brings the brand.
And listen, let me ask you this, because I know you will know, because you'd have thought about this at some point. Do you think they knew this was coming and they told Belichick this when he was coming into North Carolina?
Maybe.
And this sweetened the pot a little bit for him?
Maybe. That's a good point. Maybe. I think this is a win for FSU's cash register. I think this is a win for FSU's fan because to me, about time that grant of rights number gets knocked down, 2030 or whatever that was, about 5 years from now, we'll probably have some more moving and shaking in college football. And FSU fan, hang in there. I think you're going to have a home schedule, either SEC or Big Ten, within a decade.
And I found what I wanted to read to you.
Okay, go ahead.
You tell me how important this is, okay?
Okay.
The total cost to exit the league after the 2029-30 season is expected to drop below $100 million.
How about that? They were talking $500 million.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So the point is, Terry, now look, people who are driving, listening to us saying, that they can't even come up with what that number means. No. I can tell you this, from what you just said, and Terry, even if it's $250 million, 100, if you got to pay 100 as opposed to 250, that's a little better, is it not?
Oh my goodness! And again, let's say it's 90 million. They'll argue and settle at 50.
Oh yeah. Listen, that's what I was gonna. Yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, Terry, if it's less than 100 million, when you actually get down to negotiating, don't you, in a situation like that, don't you negotiate another 50 to 30, at least 30% off of that too?
Yeah, definitely. This also tells you that nobody is out there This also tells you Notre Dame, in no uncertain terms, has told the ACC we're never going to be a full-time football.
Right.
Never,
right.
ever. So the ACC, they don't have anybody out there that's a big fish. They go, well, haul ass FSU and Clemson. Right. They got. I mean, Stanford, SMU, blah 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 blah. Cute, but
Terry? Was some of this? We use this phrase here a lot. Was this you're shooting to the moon to make the mountains?
I think you're right.
What was this? Was some of this? We're going and look. I still truly believe they want out at some point.
Absolutely.
I don't think they
absolutely.
Look, they're not playing around with that.
This is delaying FSU and Clemson and probably North Carolina and I'm totally on board with what you just said.
Yes.
FSU, this is just a hey guys, let's stay the course. We're going to bring the numbers way down. We're still getting out. And I put it this way. If I do any business with the Atlantic Coast Conference, I'm not extending them any credit. I don't think they're going to be around strong in 5 to 10 years. I think the ACC is going to get lambasted. Right. FSU and Clemson will probably jump into the SEC and or the Big Ten. I think the ACC is – I'm telling you, I wouldn't extend them any credit. They'd have to be – some of those bars and restaurants, they don't pay they don't pay their bill for a while. And before that stock comes off that truck, it's cash. You got to pay in cash.
Hey,
Terry, I'd make the ACC paying cash.
Terry, as a Gunsmoke fan, when you walk into the hardware store or you walk into the saloon and that big old sign behind the bar says cash only,
no credit.
There's reason for that, is it not?
Now, no credit.
Now look, let me throw this in here to make it even more interesting. Now, the new ESPN deal, my understanding is starting in 26 and going through 31.
Okay.
So, can we look at that and say, well, we're talking about 2030.
Yeah.
Now, so Terry, all this stuff at some point, it looks like it's coming up for renewal. Now this is not going to be it's not going to be a 10-year deal anymore. We're not going to have that.
No.
Are we? So if we've got a 5-year deal, which look, Terry, it's 2025, bro. This can be 2030 before we turn around.
Just like that.
So now think about this a minute. You've got all this stuff involved. So I'm not saying it won't happen before now, but could that be our next great expansion?
Absolutely. It all lines up for 5 years from now. It is all line. And you know what? I would venture to say if somebody, and if you had a deep source, a deep source, I would say in about 3 years, the big boys, the power brokers, the people that run college football, the ESPNs, the commissioners, I would guess I'd venture to say in about 3 years, if you had that deep of a source, you would kind of know, hey, we're about to renegotiate the next 5 years. Yes. We're going to the board knowing that FSU and Clemson are going to be here and North Carolina and Miami are going to be here, right? They'll know in about 3 years before that 5 years is up. FSU's gone. We were premature. I didn't think these guys would get back to bed in bed together. Mm-hmm. I thought it was so bad. Well, I think they all looked up and said, hey, I think the ACC blinked, definitely. They said, man, we better get what we can get right now. I don't know where they're at in 5 years.
Well, here's another question. And you being a good deal maker, this thing's supposed to end in 2030. If that's the case, Terry, when do you start renegotiating the deal?
Well, yeah, not 2030. I guarantee you that.
No, absolutely not.
That's what I mean. In about 2 or 3 years, if you had the right mole somewhere, I guarantee you they're going to say, hey, by the way, Don't print up any more T-shirts that say FSU ACC. They ain't gonna be around after 2030. I promise you that.
Well, and see what I wonder is, I mean, and again, we're just speculating here, but Terry, by 2030, if this, I can tell you another thing here. If the current state of college football is not to the SEC and the Big Ten's liking, I think we both know what they're going to do.
Yep, they're going to pull aside, and they're going to have. Right. Yep, the ACC. Don't buy stock in the ACC right now. I'm just telling you, because I don't see how FSU, Clemson, Miami, and or North Carolina are in that conference in 2030.
If you're the attorneys representing FSU right now, what have there? Shall we say, have there been some billable hours as of late?
There have been. Hey, Brent, if you can hang in, obviously this was a football segment. Let's keep you around. We'll have you on Wednesday, I hope, as well. But let's kind of look back what happened in college basketball, SEC basketball, and where we're going. Final 2 games, sprint to the finish, and Auburn's at the finish line. Alabama and Florida, and even Tennessee kind of peeking over their shoulder. Somebody's going to get that 4th number 1 seed. We'll talk about that. College basketball talk on the other side with that guy, Brent Beard.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, let's get some NFL news out as we look at the angry Gator. Was very angry over the weekend. A lot of good stuff going on in Gainesville this past weekend in college athletics. Terry Norvelle back here in studio. Brent Beard joining us. We'll get to some college football with Brent real quick. But Brent, want to throw, or actually college basketball, I want to throw some NFL news and notes. Second year in a row, the Bengals have franchise tagged T. Higgins. If you do that 2 years in a row, Higgins got something on the other side. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you don't want a pissed off player. Why are you franchising tagging me twice? There's some pot of gold in there. Darius Slay was cut by the Super Bowl champion Eagles today. 6-time Pro Bowl. I'm sure that's a salary cap move. 6 times. And how about this news? Jimmy Johnson announces his retirement from Fox Sports after 31 years. Does it seem like he was doing it for 31 years? It doesn't seem like that to me.
How old is Jimmy, Terry?
He's right at 80.
Okay.
We looked him up the other day for something, and we were comparing somebody, and I remember going, you realize Jimmy is good, and he looks good. He's like 80. Jimmy Johnson's like 81 years old.
Yeah.
And does it seem like he's been in studio for 31 years?
That's amazing. Hey, I bet Bradshaw's been there that long, don't you think?
Woo! And, yeah, probably. But good for Jimmy Johnson. Boy, what a winner. What a winner where he went.
Really?
Just a winner. Brent, let's talk some college basketball. We had such a long segment on all that ACC football stuff. Auburn goes ahead and clinches. How about Auburn the other day? And I know Kentucky's banged up, but Auburn Saturday, they go into Rupp Arena, the hallowed grounds of SEC and college basketball. And this is not a great Kentucky team, but they're good. They're banged up, but they're good. Janai Broome scored 1 point in the first half, and Auburn didn't look back. Not look back.
No.
They clinched the regular season. What do you think? Does Auburn idle down a little bit, or is that just not in Bruce Pearl's last 2 games?
I would doubt if it is. But if they were to lose their first game of the SEC basketball tournament, I think he'd be okay with that.
He would be fine with that.
The thing that blows me away for them in quad 1 wins, they're 16-2.
And I saw that list today in your notes. They're 16-2. And I remember Florida is 6-4, which is respectable. Number one, how the hell do you play 18 quad 1 games? God almighty.
They played, Terry, they played in some of these tournaments. They played Houston. Yeah. They played Duke.
Yeah.
So they're out of the conference thing and Auburn is number 1 in the net rankings. Auburn, I'm pretty sure they would be. Terry, I mean, unless they lose again, I think, and I do think they've got some cushion. I think Auburn is the number 1 seed to the number 1 seed.
Oh, they're one of one. They're one of one. The way it looks now, and keep in mind, I mean, Duke could lose a game. It'll take it up. Here's what it looks like, and I think it's pretty cut and dry. I think Auburn's a 1 seed, the one of one.
Yeah.
Duke, unless they lose another game, they're going to be a 1 seed.
Right.
Houston, I think, pretty much solidified. Houston's going to be a 1 seed. I truly think the committee will not punish Alabama for that game, losing in Knoxville to the 5th-ranked team in the country on a 40-footer. Good win for Tennessee, but I think the Florida-Alabama winner Wednesday is the 4th number 1 seed. I really do. Yeah. And I'm not even sure Alabama losing to Auburn that Saturday would affect that.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree with that.
I think Florida and Alabama are playing for the 1 seed.
Yeah. Now
Wednesday
I'll say
night.
this. In bracketology right now, Auburn's, as you said, the top overall seed. Bama, Tennessee, and Florida are all 2 seeds.
How about that?
So now this was but you've got to believe either Florida or Tennessee. Gosh, it's hard to believe A&M and Kentucky I don't believe A&M or Kentucky are going to stay at 3 seeds at this point. That they might, but don't you think Tennessee or Florida will go up? I think either one of them could go up to a 1.
Oh, absolutely. I think Tennessee's still in the mix. That win, and people forget, Tennessee's damn 24-5. You know, doesn't it feel like the Vols kind of fell off? But the ranking just came out. Tennessee's 4th in the country.
Yeah,
4th in the country. And I think that I'll tell you though, I don't have the rankings right next to the Auburn schedule, but it's close enough. If you want to look at those wins that Auburn has had a magical. They've beaten at the time Houston was 4. They're 3 now. Yeah. They beat Houston. Yeah. Iowa State at the time was 5. They're about 11 now. They bombed North Carolina that turn. They lost to Duke on Duke's home floor now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They bombed Purdue, who's a perennial top 10, 15 team. They've beaten ranked Mississippi State. They beat Georgia when Georgia was ranked. They beat Tennessee when Tennessee was 6th in the country. Hell, they're 4th now. They beat ranked Ole Miss. They lost to Florida. They beat number 2 Alabama at the time. They just went to Lexington and knocked off 17. I mean, what a hell of a – it's almost all or nothing for Auburn now. They've got to win the title, right? It is.
Well, you remember it was all or nothing last year, and they lost to Yale
in the first round.
Yeah. So but as far as net rankings, Florida's 4, Tennessee's 5, Bama is 6. I mean that still is amazing. Missouri's 14, Kentucky's 15, and A&M's 24. So, but look, the thing that Kentucky is okay. Missouri's 14, Kentucky's 15, A&M's 24, Ole Miss is 28, Mississippi State's 30, Georgia's 33. Okay, the reason I bring that up, the suspense that we've got for these midweek games and Saturday games, I know you've already mentioned this, is where do these teams go? And these aren't necessarily bubble teams. The reality is they want to get, they all want to get a double bye in the tournament. Yeah. And how far up the ladder can they get in the seed?
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about some of the big wins for teams like Georgia and Vanderbilt in a moment. I want to go back to I think Nate Oates is a big-time coach. I think I would like to play basketball for him. He looks like he's fun. He had the end-of-game situation got away from him a little bit. I do think that was a quick 5 count. Yeah. I thought that was a quick 5 count, but Oates kind of and he said as much post game. He probably could have helped his team out a little more than he did at the end of that game.
There were 2 things that he did not do. Number one would be when Philon was throwing the ball in. And listen, Terry, one of the Dickens, you have a guard throw the ball in is beyond me. When you've got guys who are 6'10" and taller, but you've got and see if they get the ball in, even if they miss, they go to overtime. Obviously,
sure.
The other mistake that they made, they made several, and give Tennessee credit, they took advantage of it. But the other mistake they made, do you remember this? Tennessee was shooting free throws, and for some reason, Oates took out his 2 tallest players.
Yes.
And that allowed Tennessee to get the offensive rebound. So they made some tactical errors. That they wouldn't. And Terry, frankly, there were a couple of them that a junior high team wouldn't make.
Yeah, and then the irony, Tennessee, who hasn't been able to throw it in the ocean this year from behind the 3-point line, they hit a pull-up 40-footer. But as Patrick talked in the first hour, my God, they didn't put any pressure. They didn't change the dribble pattern. They didn't block his line of sight. They just and I get it. You're worried a little bit about a foul way out there, but I mean, you got to be in the same zip code as that guy, don't you?
Sure, you do. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. And look, Bama. That there are two other things that happened, and all this happened in the last 30 seconds, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're up 4, and at that point, it looks like they're going to win the game. Fallon missed. He had 2 free throws. He missed 1. But one of the things that really devastated them was Grant Nelson. Listen, Grant Nelson is 6'11". He's from South Dakota. Last year was a much better player than he was this year. Grant Nelson can't defend you or me.
No, he does struggle with that.
And the problem is Terry, there was a play, you may remember this. He got called for a block, and the ball went in, so it was an and 1. He got the free throw. If Grant just lets him go, and lets him dunk the ball, or just get 2 points, Alabama's up by 1, and Tennessee's going to foul him, and you go from there.
Yeah, Nelson's he's interesting. He was a awkward matchup issue last year, and I thought he was going to have a near first team All-American type year. He's just been average.
He for whatever reason he changed his shot, and his shot is a lot flatter than it was. I mean, Patrick can tell us more about that stuff, but no, he has really struggled, and again. What people may not realize is Bama's got Florida Wednesday night, and then they go to Auburn Saturday.
How about that? That's not going 1-2. They just played Tennessee, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. and play Kentucky and Mississippi State before then.
That's like 3 of the top 6 teams in the country you play in a row. Vanderbilt with a huge win. They're in now, if you ask me. That put them in. Georgia, you and I pick at Mike White. I think he's calling us on line 1. Georgia, Georgia, they probably need to win 1 more just to be safe. But
I agree.
Georgia and Vanderbilt, big weekends. How about a John Calipari? We talked about this with Patrick. I want you to get back to Vanderbilt and Georgia real quick, but Arkansas, John Calipari, some of the players, he's put a gazillion guys in the NBA, a gazillion guys that can score, that know how. Arkansas scored 14 first-half points in their loss. 14.
Abysmal. An abysmal performance. But listen, here's the thing. To your point, Mississippi State and Vandy are 8-8. Georgia and Arkansas are 6-10. Now, help me on this. Will the strength of the conference get Arkansas and Georgia in?
I think Georgia. I think yes. I think I'm going to stick by. I think 12 get in, and my 12 would include Arkansas. My 4 out would be South Carolina, LSU, Texas, and Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I still think Arkansas. And by the way, Arkansas. Let's see what they have coming up. They play Tuesday at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And then their Saturday close out the regular season is Mississippi State at Arkansas. So I bet you if they get 1, if they get swept, it gets a little dicey. And what they do in Nashville. If they get 1, they may get in. They may get in.
Yeah. Well, and now in the net, Texas is 45, Arkansas is 47. Oh, man.
How about that?
Listen, can you believe Texas is this bad in basketball?
I know. They're about to fire their guy. Rodney Terry's going to get fired.
Yeah.
And they've had periods here and there. Who's the NBA guy that was there, one and done? He was good there. They had the little guard that took them to a Final Four 100 years ago. Why has Texas been so bad in basketball?
I don't understand that, but you've got to believe that they've got to be able to step it up. Now, another Texas team, Texas A&M, Terry, they're in the funk.
They're going the wrong way, man. Wrong way.
They really are. Now they've got to correct that, and they've got to be able to play better than what they've done. So, but I mean, listen, this thing is just fascinating to be able to see. And look, I know this is, I know we're talking SEC, but I want to say this before I forget it. Rick Pitino is the first coach to lead 5 different programs to a regular season league championship.
And to do that, you've got to be kicked out of 4 other places, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, forgive me for that, but okay,
Rick Pitino.
Here's the thing about A&M. Oh, it just gets even worse, Terry. They host Auburn on Tuesday night. How about that?
Ooh.
And Terry, just for you, did you see the starting time on that Arkansas Vandy game?
No, what was it?
10 o'clock.
Oh, my God. Oh.
10 o'clock.
Tell me about that. Crypt notes. Got to get the crypt notes. What about your boy Pitino? I mean,
Yes.
I would never even think about buying a used car from him. But, man, he can coach basketball. He knows how to put a program together. And I think, there's only a handful of guys I truly think game day, in the huddle, on a whiteboard, needing a play. There's only a handful, and these guys are dangerous in March Madness. And the guys going right now are, the Rick Pitinos. You got to throw him up there. Tom Izzo, Mark Few, I think's that guy. Some guys I don't think are that guy, and they just bludgeon you with talent. I've never thought Calipari's that guy.
Bill Self?
I've never thought Bill Self is that guy. Just those guys just bludgeon you with talent.
Yeah, they do.
But Pitino can coach. I mean, if you're on defense against Pitino and you're up by 1 and he's got the ball inbounding, I mean, with 6 seconds, you better bring something because he knows what he's doing.
Terry, here's an interesting question. If you put Pitino, okay, let's just pretend a minute that Texas fires his coach and they hire Pitino. Now, I'm not sure that would happen, of course, but let's just pretend a minute. If you hire Pitino, Terry, he is immediately in the top 5 coaches in the league.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, could you make an argument that with what he knows and what he's capable of? I mean, Terry, if you want somebody to design a defense besides Bobby Knight, he'd be one of the best ones there's ever been, wouldn't he?
I mean, and I know rah-rah only goes so far, but they had that in locker room footage of Pitino.
Yes, I saw that.
And he was chewing his team, and it was like a general. I mean, he knows he knows drawing it up. He knows the psychological part.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like to have a beer with him. I've never liked the guy.
Yeah.
But he knows ball.
But here's the reality, though, Terry. I mean, and we don't know who they're going to play at this point, but we understand that. But I mean, he could coach them. He could will them to the Sweet 16, could he not?
Yeah. I mean, and I know the team I'm going to bring up, I think, had to forfeit. But I think the last time Pitino played Florida with Louisville, he knocked Florida out, and I thought I think they won it all that year, but it got vacated. But no, he coached his ass off in that game.
Oh, sure he did.
I remember getting late in the game, and I go, oh boy, this guy's drawing it. This guy's drawing it up. All right, Brent. Let me see what else we're missing. Wednesday, we will visit on Wednesday, I think, like we normally do, so we can dive into the Alabama Florida game. I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
In terms of regular season Gator basketball games, that's one of the biggest ones ever. I mean, obviously they won titles, but their title games were postseason, winning. Let me back up. Did you happened to catch game day in Gainesville. I thought Florida put on a great.
Yeah.
It was just a great 2-hour infomercial, which is what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely, it is. There's no doubt about that. They had a good crowd. That they show up for that. And look, I'm not a great game day basketball fan.
Nor am I.
But what's been refreshing is as many times as I've been to the SEC and be able, because and I won't get in the weeds on this. They don't have anywhere near the chemistry for basketball they do for football.
No, they're trying hard though, and they're trying to stay consistent. They're obviously Reese is Reese. The young lady, they're keeping her consistent.
Yeah.
Jay Williams and then the coach. They're trying hard. They're trying hard. They really are. It's better than I thought it was when it first got going.
Yeah. Well, agreed. I would agree with that.
It was a good infomercial for a program like Florida trying to, that thing going to Duke is yawn. Oh well, it's always that thing going to Lexington. Yawn. Okay, we've done it. That thing even North Carolina historically. That thing going to Gainesville was a big deal. What a wonderful day on campus for Florida on that day.
Terry, help me on this. Is this weekend Duke at Carolina?
I could try to look that up real quick. I'm not sure. Why do you bring it up?
Because I'm bringing it up because game day couldn't be there again, could they?
Let me look that up real quick. I should be able to pull up ACC.
And I may be wrong, but I don't remember them playing the return game with that one.
Yeah, it looks like Saturday, March 8th. Yeah, Duke has tonight. Duke plays Wake Forest. The ACC does that weird Saturday, Monday kind of thing.
Yeah, they do. Yes.
Duke plays Wake Forest tonight.
Yeah.
And then they close at North Carolina Saturday the 8th. And they beat them. It
was a round
by 17 at the end. Yeah.
At Cameron Indoor,
and North Carolina may not make the tournament, and I think Hubert Davis is done. I think they'll be looking for a coach.
Well, now, this just happened, but basically over the weekend, is they gave him Terry. How did they do this? They gave him a new contract.
Oh, I missed that. Are you serious?
Hubert Davis? I'm serious. I'm serious. Yeah. Oh, listen, there were a lot of people questioning that.
Really?
Yes.
I totally missed that, but I can't believe that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. I couldn't either. Now they got him a general manager also, which I think will help them. But there were a lot of people surprised that I think they extended him a year or something of that nature. But now, real quick, you mentioned the Gators and Bama. Terry, I don't see any way Alabama wins that game because Alabama can't defend their bigs.
Yeah,
they don't have enough depth. And I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard Grant Nelson may be hurt with his knee. But look, the Omari kid, their 7-footer. He came from Rutgers. He's okay.
Yeah.
But I tell you this, look, if you go to Auburn and win, you can win anywhere.
Yeah.
And that was a game to me that was a win of the year. And Florida's guards, look, I think it'll be a good game. I don't have any doubt about that. But I think Florida wins that game because I think they've got the perfect combination of length and guards.
Yeah, it was really nice to see Alex Condon. He needed that one game, and he was rusty in Athens, and he didn't finish, and he didn't look
right.
He needed that game because he looked back up to game speed, and Handlogden now 3-4 games in. He looks like mid-season last year.
He does. He really does.
He does. Thank God the Alabama-Florida game, it seems like to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like Alabama's caught that 9 o'clock game midweek, 9 p.m. tip all season. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, no, they've had a lot of those. I think this one's at 7.
7, yeah. Thank God.
Yeah.
That's where I was going with that. Thank God it's not one of those 9. It seems like every time Alabama plays midweek, they're playing a big game that I can't make it. I just can't make it.
I know. Well, the problem is they've got these 8:00 starts in Tuscaloosa or wherever they play.
Yeah.
It's like when they played. Listen, I remember this well, Terry, because I know you're probably in bed, but Bama started that game at 9. Terry, it was still playing at 11:37.
That's brutal. And get ready because March Madness. I mean, those hey, you'll get a scheduled 9:45. That thing doesn't tip till 10:20, and you've got to stay out. Brent, we're just going to keep it here to the end of the show. Did you follow much of the combine? Did anything strike you? I thought the local story to me is 2 of the guys the Jaguars have kind of circled, according to some sources that have sources, are suffering short arms. The guy from Michigan, the defensive tackle, he came in like 24 pounds under his listed weight and short arms. And the kid from LSU, Will Campbell, who I still would draft him, but they've got short arm issues going on with the Jaguars.
Well, I'm with you. I would draft Will Campbell because look, this league, it's almost like professional baseball now. This analytic garbage. I know you can get something out of that. But all you've got to do on Will Campbell is look at the tape.
Yeah.
And you'll realize this guy can play. And when he's healthy, he was one of the best offensive linemen in the SEC. And when you're that, you can play for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. You wonder if the Jaguars are going to get spooked. Are they going to get spooked? And if they get spooked, I would draft Campbell. I think they've got to get in line. I think, and this is nothing based on anything, I think they're going to end up trading back. I think they're going to go to a team that says, if you've got an expendable, ready-made starter on the offensive line, we'll take him. We'll take him and swap 5 for 13 or whatever. I think that's
yes. And listen, you and I've been saying this now for what? Even in December, we were saying this. Terry, they've got, and people will snark at this. They need to draft about 3 offensive linemen, whether the fans like it or not.
I mean, I've heard
that's what they need to do.
I've heard some other guys here in our town, 1 or 2 guys, buddies of mine in the business, they've said, "Man, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they blew the entire offensive line up." Just keep a couple as backup depth guys and just roll. Yeah. I don't think I never bought into the guy from Buffalo. Zach Harrison, it's put up or shut up time now. And this guy's going into third or fourth year. I mean, I don't think any of the other guys can play. I don't think they can play dead in the Western.
No, I agree with that totally. And look, here's the reality of it is, you've got to do this sooner or later, and you might as well do it right now. But because look, you and I both know they're not going anywhere next year.
I don't think so. Which is one of the reasons. Is Travis Hunter intriguing at 5? Yes. Is pairing Travis Hunter with Brian Thomas when Hunter plays some offense, is that intriguing? Yes. My big issue with that is if you go get 2 big-time receivers, how many plays are they going to make if your quarterback's on his back?
Listen,
I'm just a simpleton, I guess. Terry, I don't know, man.
Terry, they need Hunter in the secondary worse than they need him as a wide receiver.
I think you're right. I think you're right. We don't have time now. 2 minutes. Spring ball everywhere. Spring ball. Hey, by the way, Liberty got it started on Saturday, for God's sake.
Spring. Yeah. Look, not only needs Liberty had their spring game Saturday.
Oh, did they?
Wow. Did they? Terry, did they have it indoors?
I don't know.
In front of family and friends.
They must have a hell of a spring break plan. They want to get that thing done before.
Now we'll get into this more on Wednesday.
Okay.
But Bama started today and Miami started today.
Gotcha.
So, and Missouri started Friday. So those are some of the schools that have already started. But look, between now and 3 weeks, that there's going to be somebody starting almost every day.
Nice. It's fun time of year. March,
It is.
Most people will argue the best sports month of the year is October. NFL, college, NBA. You got a lot of overlapping stuff that's starting to happen October. March, particularly in our area, we got a damn tournament next week.
Yeah.
You got I absolutely love the basketball tournament overlapping the golf tournament, and I know it's the conference championship games, but I love next week when the SEC and the ACC basketball tournaments are playing. You're watching golf. I love it. I love it when it overlaps. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about that. I mean, there's something really for everybody at this point too. I'm with you. I can't wait. It's gonna be a fun week. And but by the way, I'll leave you with this. I know I've talked about him before. I've got a friend who is celebrating today his 1 year anniversary of getting his heart transplant.
How about that? That's great news.
And listen, not only did he have a heart transplant, I think I told you he had a kidney transplant too.
Good Lord. Good for him.
So
Man.
I told him he's the bionic man.
You know who that is? That's a tough old motor scooter is who that is.
Sure is.
Tough old motor scooter. Brent, I cannot wait to really talk Florida, Alabama on Wednesday and college football as spring ball is here. Thanks, buddy.
My pleasure, pal. Take care.
That's our main man, Brent Beard. We visit with him a lot of times Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tomorrow we're live in Mandarin. Come by, say hi. We'll be at Hurricane in Jointon Creek, and we'll have some fun trivia as we bring you the Tuesday edition, 4 to 6 tomorrow. Join us for the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 14325.